Thank you very much indeed. Hello, I'm Alexander Armstrong, and a very warm welcome to Pointless, the quiz where knowing the obvious is a major disadvantage. Let's meet today's players. And couple number one.
Hello, I'm Blair, and this is my lovely girlfriend, Sarah, and we're from London.
Couple number two.
Hello, I'm Mark. This is my son, Jacob, and we're from Hertfordshire.
Couple number three.
Hi, I'm Rob. This is my beautiful partner, Raisa. We're from Leeds.
And finally, couple number four.
Hi, I'm Charlotte. This is my sister Katie, and we're from York.
And these are today's contestants. Thank you very much indeed, everybody. A very warm welcome to the show. Lovely to have you here. That just leaves one more person for me to introduce. A spark so bright, all you need is some kindling, and you've got yourself a fire risk. It's my pointless friend. It's Richard.
Hiya. Hey, everybody. Good afternoon. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon.
Now, we've given away the jackpot 5 shows in a row.
I know.
What a run we're on.
I know.
We didn't give it away for weeks and weeks. Built up and built up, and 5 shows in a row. It's incredible, isn't it?
Oh, when the dam breaks,
it really
just
breaks,
runs
doesn't it?
and runs and runs.
Final show today for Jacob and Mark. Welcome back. They've had a round 2 and a head-to-head, so could be in line for a lovely trophy today. Good luck, gents. And also back Blair and Sarah. Hello, lovely to have you here. Round 1 last time, so we need to see a little bit more of you. And welcome on podiums 3 and 4. How lovely to have you here. We'll have fun, won't we?
I think we will.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we will. Thank you. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Do you know what? Let's make sure we have fun.
That's a nice idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's in our hands.
Why don't we put on a quiz for everyone, for example?
For example, let's do that.
Lovely
Brilliant.
idea.
Ingrid and Simon, as you probably gathered, won the jackpot last time, which means we start off with the jackpot of £1,000. There we are. If everyone's ready, let's play Pointless. All you have to remember is the pair with the highest score at the end of each round that gets eliminated, so just keep your scores low. That's it. Best of luck to everybody. Our first category this afternoon is famous people. Can you all decide in your pairs who's going to go first, who's going to go second? And whoever's going first, please step up to the podium. And our famous people question concerns inventors and their first names. Richard.
You're going to see the surnames and some initials of some inventors now, also alongside something they invented or were part of the process of inventing. Can you tell us what their first names are, please? 7 on the first board, 7 on the second.
Thank you very much indeed. Let's reveal our first board of inventors. Here they come. 7 of them. T. Berners-Lee, World Wide Web. J. Cochrane, dishwasher. J. Logie Baird, television. B. Wallace, bouncing bomb. A. Nobel, dynamite. M. Anderson, windscreen wipers. And L. Braille, Braille system. There we go. Simple as that. Blair, welcome back. Great to have you with us again for a second bite at the pointless cherry. Tell us all about yourself, Blair.
Yeah, well, after last time's discussion about my haberdashery buying and my job, I had a little bit of a look online to see if there were any retailers called Blair's Bobbins. Unfortunately, there is actually one, so I'm going to have to go for Blair's Buttons, I think, is my...
Blair's, I think Blair's Buttons possibly been better. Yeah. Now, Blair, who are you going to go for on our board here?
Yeah, it's a tricky round, but I don't want to make any early errors, so I'm going to go pretty safe and go for the top one, which is Tim Berners-Lee.
Tim Berners-Lee, says Blair. Let's see how many of our 100 people said Tim. Yes, it's right. Down it goes to 28. Not bad, actually. 28. Good start to the round.
It's a lovely start, yeah. Sometimes people say he invented the internet, which of course he didn't, but he did develop the World Wide Web, the first ever web browser. Knighted in 2004.
Thank you very much indeed. Now, Jacob, welcome back.
Thank you.
For the third and final time. A little bit of pressure there, just tickling around the edges. Tell us all about yourself again.
I'm Jacob, and I'm a canine massage therapist from Hertfordshire.
This is just great. This is just brilliant. The biggest dog you've massaged?
Newfoundland.
OK, yeah.
Yeah.
And the smallest, I mean, small dogs probably more difficult, actually.
Yeah, they don't tend to sit still long enough.
No, and also they're much more compact. So
That's it. It doesn't take as long.
No.
No.
No. I mean, do you use any tools for massage?
No, just your hands.
Just the
hands.
10 you were given.
That's it. That's it.
Lovely. Jacob, first names, inventors.
So, I am going to be guessing.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Completely?
Completely guessing.
Oh, this is fun.
And I will go for Ben Wallace. With the bouncing bomb.
Ben Wallace. Oh, Benny Wallace, the bouncing bomb.
Yeah.
The Blair's Bobbins, Benny Wallace, bouncing bomb. Let's see how many of our 100 people said Ben Wallace. Not Ben Wallace. Do you know what? That may well not be the last 100 of the round. Yeah, 100 points for Ben Wallace.
Yeah, not afraid. I might register Ben's Bombs, though, just
Nice.
as bensbombs.com.
Nice.
It's nice.
Yeah, bit of a oomph to it, as you'd expect. Riza, welcome to Pointless. Lovely to have you here. Tell us all about yourself.
Yep, I'm Raisa. I'm a clinical engineer for Leeds Trust Hospital from Leeds.
Very good indeed. What do you do for fun, Riza?
Play quite a bit of tag rugby. That's actually where I met Rob.
That's fun. Is that where you have lots of strips?
Yeah, so no tackles, just
No tackles at
Velcro.
all?
Yeah.
That's great. Very nice indeed. Raisa, who are you going to go for on our board?
So I'm going to have to guess as well. I think I'll probably go for the dishwasher, maybe Jean.
Jean Cochran.
Yeah.
Jean Cochran, let's see if that is right. No, I'm afraid not Jean Cochran, but I like it. 100 points, though, is what it scores you.
Yeah, sorry, Rice. This board is causing more trouble than I thought it might.
It is.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, Katie, welcome. Lovely to have you here from York.
Yeah,
Tell us all about yourself, Katie.
I'm a bartender from the York area, so in a dining pub. So
A dining
making
pub.
a lot of martinis, a lot of cocktails.
Oh, now that's fun.
It's very fun.
What would you say is your signature cocktail?
I would say
Katie?
an espresso martini for sure.
Ah.
Definite. It's a good one.
Also, probably the most popular. Everyone loves an espresso martini.
Everyone loves an espresso.
Do you do a Blair's Bobbin?
We could definitely invent one.
Right.
Yeah.
Very nice. Good stuff. So now, this board is all yours, Katie. Do you want to talk us through it?
Absolutely not.
No?
I'm going to be honest, it's not very good for me, but I think I'm going to have to guess as well. Also for the dishwasher, I think maybe Joseph Cochran.
Joseph Cochran.
Yeah.
Joseph Cochran. Joseph has a sort of an inventor of a
Yeah.
particular generation.
I
Certainly,
think
I'd have
so.
thought Joseph. Yeah, I like that. Joseph Cochran. Let's see, is it right? No. Sounds right. Happens not to be. Scores you 100 points.
It does sound very right. Now, imagine if Joseph Cochran and Jean Cochran had a daughter. What would she be called?
Joan. Oh, no.
Joseph and Jean.
Josephine.
Josephine
No.
Cochran, yeah, is the answer.
Oh.
Would have scored 6 points as well. Television?
Oh, I used to love watching Logie Baird with all those picnic baskets. John Logie Baird.
John Logie Baird, absolutely. He would have scored you 57 points. Thank you, John Logie Baird, by the way, for
Yes.
inventing
Oh, yeah. Thanks for
television.
our
Where
careers.
would we be?
Yeah, exactly. Barnes Wallace.
Barnes Wallace, absolutely right. Barnes Wallace would have scored 27. Dynamite?
It's between the Alfred, Albert. I'm going Alfred.
Alfred is
Oh,
right.
phew.
Alfred Nobel. 20 points for Alfred. Windscreen wipers.
Maureen.
It is not Maureen. She never made a penny from her invention.
Oh, no.
It's Mary Anderson.
Mary Ann.
Very well done if you said Mary Anderson. Yeah, never made a penny. 3
Oh.
points for that. And Braille?
Louis.
Louis Braille. And he would have scored you 25. So Mary, the best answer on the board. Well done if you said that.
Thank you very much indeed. Well, we're halfway through the round. Let's have a look at the scores. Only 2 scores between the 4 of you. Look at that. Blair and Sarah. Just look at that. Let's just rest on that. Oh. Anyway, there are enough of that. They're up to 100, which is where we find Katie and Charlotte, Raisa and Rob, and Jacob and Mark. So, yes, best of luck to everybody with this next pass. Let's hope the next board's a little bit more fruitful. We're going to come back down the line now. Will the second players please step up to the podium? OK, let's put 7 more clues to the first names of inventors up on the board, and here they come. We've got H. Lamar, Spread Spectrum Radio. A. Graham Bell, telephone. F. Whittle, jet engine. J. Tull, seed drill. C. Cockerell, hovercraft. T. Bayliss, wind-up radio. And M. Faraday, electric generator. There we are. I'm not sure that is much easier, that board, but there we are. We'll have fun with it. Charlotte, welcome. Tell us all about yourself.
Well, I'm a student. I'm studying an online diploma in naturopathic nutrition.
That is interesting. How do you find the online diploma bit?
It's actually quite nice because it means that I can stay at home so I don't have to spend money on rent. So it's quite nice.
Well, that's good. And do you have lectures that everyone tunes in together, or do they come as sort of self-contained?
No, they're all pre-recorded. But I've just, I'm nearly finished with my first year. So next year we actually get to go and do live clinics. So
Oh, that's
that'll
fun.
be more fun,
Yeah.
I think.
You'll be more sociable anyway.
Yeah,
which is
I'll
nice.
meet other people on my course. That's
Exactly.
nice. Yeah.
That's nice. Charlotte, there you are. Welcome to a brand new board. Where are you going to go with it?
Well, I'm very happy because the top one, I actually have a little postcard of her in my room, and that's Hedy Lamarr.
Hedy Lamarr. Says Charlotte for the Spread Spectrum Radio. How many of our 100 people said Hedy Lamarr? No red line for you as you're the joint high scorers. Hedy Lamarr it is. Look at that. Down it goes to 7. That's a wonderful score, Charlotte. I think there's a place for you in round 2.
Great work, Charlotte, and a great postcard to have as well. She's an extraordinary woman, so better known until recent years. She was a very glamorous film star, Hedy Lamarr. She's Delilah and Samson and Delilah, all sorts of things like that. And then it came out bit by bit that she had created this thing, which is a precursor to Wi-Fi and GPS and stuff like that. No one knew about it because the military essentially kept it a military secret. But yeah, she had invented this thing whilst everyone, was just watching her on the silver screen. And she was this extraordinary inventor. Yeah.
Thank you very much indeed, Richard. Now then, Rob, welcome. Lovely to have you here. Tell us all about yourself.
Yes, so I work in flood risk management. I'm a development flood risk engineer. So basically, every time there's a development, a planning application comes in, and I get to look at the drainage.
You have to
of that
assess
development.
what the flood risk is. And presumably quite a lot of that flood is runoff from other places as well.
Yeah, it's mostly surface water, so you've just got to look at the surface water and make sure that they're designed to appropriate standards, plus climate change allowances as well.
There you are. Yeah, good point. Rob, you are on 100. If you can score 6 or less, there's a place for you in round 2 as well.
There's a couple which I think I might know the answer to. I'm going to try and go safe. It's probably still wrong anyway, but I'm going to go Alexander Graham Bell.
Alexander Graham Bell. Let's see if that's right. Let's see how many of our 100 people said it. Here's your red line. Let's see where we end up with Alexander. Alexander Graham Bell, absolutely right. 65 takes your total up to 165.
Other inventors have been working on the same thing. He was the first one to be given a patent. Do you know somewhere else that we use Bell's name in these days?
The bell jar. No.
No, it is decibel. So there is a level of sound which is a bell, which is named after Alexander Graham Bell, and a decibel is a tenth of it. There you go. Even though it's only got one
of the L's.
Yeah, it's got one of the L's. Yeah.
There we go. Thank you. That's fascinating. There we go. Now, Mark, welcome back. Tell us more about yourself, Mark.
Over my few years on this planet, I've discovered I've got quite a high pain threshold.
That's interesting.
Yes.
How did you discover this?
Well, first time really was when I was 17. I was riding a motorbike and I introduced myself to a car coming the other direction.
Did you get on?
Yeah, great stuff. Yeah, I got on and over. Yeah. But, just lying on the ground when the ambulance came, they obviously come to check you over and say, can you move your toes? Yep, move your toes. Can you move your leg? Yeah, I can move my leg. Can you stand up? Yeah, I can stand up. Sat in the ambulance, drove over to the hospital. They x-rayed it and I'd broken the tibia clean through in 2 places, fractured the fibula and fractured the patella as well. So
wow. So you have a very high pain threshold.
I was trying to walk about on it and I thought, no, it's okay.
That's a bit wobbly. Is there any practical use you can put this to? So can you do something clever with it?
I suppose I could be a stuntman or something, could I?
But pain's quite useful because it tells us where things are wrong. You have to get Jacob to keep checking. Everything all right?
Well, that's it, yeah. If I ever do get any more injuries, I'll have to get him massaging.
Yeah, absolutely. There we go. Now, Mark, you have to score 64 or less to stay with us.
OK, I'm going to say Michael Faraday.
Michael Faraday, says Mark. Here is your red line. Let's see if we can get you below this red line with Michael Faraday. It is Michael Faraday. You're through. Hooray. There we are. For your third show, you are definitely as far as round 2. 141 your total.
Well played, Mark. They call him the father of electricity.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how that happened, but
well, I mean, they
that's what
can't
he
really
is.
prove the paternity of electricity, can they? I mean, that's...
I think the mother was a sandwich toaster.
Yeah. There we are. Thank you very much indeed. Now then, Sarah.
Hello.
So, listen, I can't go any further without telling you this good news. You're through to the next round.
Yay!
So if you had any worries on the first names of inventors, you can stop worrying on that score. Tell us more about yourself, Sarah.
Yeah, well, I am born and raised in East London. My heritage is Malaysian, Indian and Irish. And apart from English, I understand Tamil and British Sign Language, but I can't speak them that well.
You understand Tamil but don't speak it?
No, not very well. I speak with my grandparents, yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Now, Sarah, what are you going to go for here? Do you fancy just talking us through these in case there's anything you...
I don't know any of them. The only thing that feels like maybe it could be right is the Hovercraft, and I'm going to take a wild guess and say Chris or Christopher.
Chris Cockerell?
Yeah.
Chris Cockerell, let's see if that's right. Let's see how many of our 100 people... No, it really doesn't matter if it's not. There's no red line for you because you're already through. Chris Cockerell? Christopher Cockerell? Look at that. Look at that. It's the old alliteration again. Back it comes. Blair's Bobbins, Chris Cockerell, 27 is what it scores you. 55 your total.
Yeah, very well played. Shall we fill in the rest of these? The jet engine, this has been a quiz question since I was a kid.
Frank
Whittle, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's one of those classic pub quiz questions, 44 points for that. Seed drill.
Jethro
Tull. We scored 24. And
Trevor
Bayliss used to be on TV all the time, didn't he, when in the 90s. Would have scored you 20 points. So the best answer on the board, Charlotte, is Hedy. Very well played.
There we go. Thank you very much indeed. And at the end of our first round, we have to say goodbye to one of our pairs. And it's one of our new coming pairs. I can't bear it. Rob and Racer, it's you. We're going to see you lots, though. You're going to be back next time. And if you don't go through to the final that time, you'll be back a third time. So we'll look forward to all of that. But meantime, thank you very much, Rob and Racer. But for the remaining three pairs, it's now time for round two. Very well done, everybody. We made it through round one. Charlotte, our lowest individual scorer there, so well done. You on the far podium. And Blair and Sarah on the near podium, our lowest combined scorers. Anyway, best of luck, everybody. Our category for round two this afternoon is international shipping. There we go. Can you all decide in your pairs who's going to go first, who's going to go second? And whoever's going first, please step up to the podium. Let's find out what the question is. Here it comes. We gave 100 people 100 seconds to name as many countries with the largest merchant fleets as they could. Richard?
Yeah, we're looking for any country in the world with over 500,000 tonnes of registered merchant fleet. Just to give you an idea, there's 72 countries on this list. So there's a lot of countries there. It's about a third of the world. So any of the countries with the largest merchant fleet, so there has to be the country where those fleets are registered, essentially, which can mean all sorts of things. But any of those 72 countries with the largest merchant fleets is always by country. I mean, a sovereign state that's a member of the UN in its own right.
Yeah, thank you very much indeed. Right, OK, so Sarah.
I am going to go for Portugal.
Portugal. Portugal. Let's see, how many of our 100 people said Portugal? Portugal is right. Very well done indeed. Sorry. Slightly anxious moment there. Down it goes to 3. That's a brilliant answer. What a great start to the round. 3 for Portugal.
Yep, very well worked out. It's got the 15th largest merchant fleet in the world. 673 merchant ships are registered in Portugal.
Thank you very much indeed, Richard. Now, Jacob.
I will go with Finland.
Finland, says Jacob. Let's find out how many of our 100 people said Finland. Finland is right. 3 is the only score we have at the moment, and that is a pointless answer. Very well done indeed, Jacob. That adds £250 to today's jackpot, takes the total up to £1,250, and it scores you nothing. Very well done indeed.
It's absolutely one of those rounds that has such potential for hundreds and zeros. And very well done for finding the 0 rather than the 100. Yeah, they've got 274 merchant marine ships, Finland.
There we are. Thank you very much indeed. Now then, Charlotte.
Right, I have no idea where to start with this, so I'm just going to go for Denmark.
Denmark. Listen, it's coastal. Let's see how many of our 100 people said Denmark. Denmark is right. 3 is our high score, nothing is our low. That goes down to 2. Very well done indeed, Charlotte. 2 for Denmark.
Yeah, they've got the 13th biggest merchant fleet in the world. The port of Aarhus carries about 65% of their traffic.
Aarhus, is that in the middle of our street?
That's right, yeah.
Yeah. Thank you very much indeed, Richard. Well, we're halfway through the round. Let's have a quick look at those scores. Nothing, the best score of the pass. Very well done indeed, Jacob. Keep that up, Mark, and you will be in the head-to-head again. 2 is where we find Charlotte and Katie. Then 3 is where we find Sarah and Blair. So, Blair, yeah, you're way out in front. Let's have a pointless answer from you in the next pass and hope that's enough to get you into the head-to-head. We're going to come back down the line now. Will the second players please step up to the podium? There we are. Katie, remember we are looking for countries with the largest merchant fleets.
Okay. So, again, I'm racking through all the countries like in my head. I think it's worth a risk.
I think it's always worth a risk.
Lebanon.
Lebanon,
Yeah.
says Katie. Let's find out if that's right. Let's see how many of our 100 people said Lebanon. There's a red line for you, and it's pointless. So you just have to imagine it there. Oh, no. Oh, no, I'm afraid not Lebanon. That scores you 100 points, takes your total up to 102.
Yeah, I think that's very unlucky. I assumed it would have been on the list, but no Lebanon, I'm afraid. But lovely to see someone going for a risk. You got to in this round with these low scores.
Absolutely right. Thank you, Richard. Now, Mark.
I'm going to say Turkey.
Turkey. Good news for you is you're already through to the next round. So even if you score 100, you're still through. No red line. Therefore, how many of our 100 said Turkey? Absolutely Turkey. It goes down to 1. Very well done indeed, taking your total up to 1.
We've got over 1,000 merchant marine ships, Turkey, or at least 1,000 of them that are registered in Turkey.
Right.
Where things are registered and where they actually are two very, very different things.
Different things. Thank you, Richard. I'll ask you a question at the end of the round, actually. Yeah. I think that's a good moment to do it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Thank you. Now, Blair, what we need from you is a score of 98 or less.
Yeah, I really don't want to be an internet sensation for getting this wrong. So I'm going to play super safe and go with Australia.
Australia, says Blair. Australia. Here's your red line. Can you get below it with Australia? There we are. Australia, we are through. Down it goes to 16, taking your total up to 19. Very well done indeed.
Yeah, well done. They've only got 581 merchant marine ships.
Not huge.
The bigger countries are not at the top of these lists because, by and large, where a ship is registered is a business decision for tax reasons, for all sorts of reasons. So the top 5 are extraordinary. What was your question to be?
I was going to ask, are there any ships registered to landlocked countries?
Yeah, one of the pointless answers is Liechtenstein. So absolutely. I'll tell you what, I'm going to go through the 5 largest fleets. Okay, and this is fleets in terms of tonnage rather than actual ships, but in terms of tonnage. And normally the top 5 in these lists almost always goes India, China, Russia, USA. That's what you almost always have. The 5th biggest merchant fleet in the world, Malta. The 4th biggest, Singapore. The 3rd biggest in the world, Liberia. The 2nd biggest merchant fleet in the world, the Marshall Islands. I mean, who would have thought?
I smell a rat.
Do you think? And the biggest, which sort of makes sense geographically, I suppose, but not in terms of the size of the country.
Monte Carlo.
Not a million miles off in terms of taxes. Panama. Panama has the largest fleet in the world by quite some way as well. Wow. Shall we take a look at some pointless answers?
Yeah.
Let's do that, shall we? Here you go. You could have said Algeria, Bangladesh, Belize, Egypt, Indonesia. There's Luxembourg as well. It's got the Luxembourg merchant fleet is something to behold. You could have had Malaysia, the Bahamas. Our old friend Tuvalu is in there. Libya is there. Kuwait, Iran, Dominica, Comoros, Chile as well, Barbados. The UK has got the 9th largest fleet in the world. The UK would have scored you 50 points.
Thank you very much indeed, Richard. Well, that brings us to the end of our second round. Means we have to say goodbye to another pair. And Katie and Charlotte, I'm afraid it's you we have to say goodbye to. I mean, really, who knew? I thought that was a brilliant, brilliant punt to take. And I'm sorry it didn't pay off. But we'll see you again next time. Look forward to it very much. Thank you so much, Katie and Charlotte. But for the remaining 2 pairs, now time for the head-to-head. Congratulations, Blair and Sarah, Jacob and Mark. You're now one step closer to the final and a chance to play for our jackpot, which currently stands at £1,250. But before we play the head-to-head, we get this rather fun opportunity to try and swell the coffers a little bit. See if we can find a couple of pointless answers and add some money. Here goes. We gave 100 people 100 seconds to name as many Germanic tribes as they could. Richard.
Hooray!
Yeah, that's fine.
6 Germanic tribes on the board. As always, 2 of them will be pointless answers and 2 of them will be made up. So German or no, man.
That's good.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you.
OK, let's reveal our potential Germanic tribes. Here they come. 2 of these could be pointless. I mean, will be pointless. Chatti, Gepids, Grabos, Jutes, Nimitz, and Stams. There we are.
I've got 0.
Yeah.
Yeah, same.
Same.
OK.
Guess as good as
In
ours.
which case, Blair and Sarah, we turn to you. What would you like to go for?
I think Nemetes, I think it might be like a Greek thing, and Chatti maybe like a North American tribe thing, so I would avoid those.
Stam sounds right.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Let's gamble.
Okay.
Go for it.
Stams.
Stams.
Yeah.
Stams, I'm with you there. Let's see. Stams. Mind you, whenever I say that, it's always wrong. Stams, let's see how many of our 100 people said that. Is it a pointless Germanic tribe? That's the point. You see? Sorry, I cursed you there. Not Stams. So, Jacob and Mark.
Just a complete guess. We don't know. So we'll go for Gepids.
Yep.
Why not? Let's see. Is that a pointless Germanic tribe? Well, we're halfway there. Can we make it down to 0 and add £250 to that jackpot? That'd be so satisfying. Oh, no, I'm sorry, 2 of our 100. Our 100, they're such specialists. They really have such
It's
knowledge.
quite something, isn't it? The Jutes is the other scorer up there. Would have scored you 4. I'll give you one of the pointless answers. The Nemitz is a pointless answer. Or Nemetes. So the Gribos and the Chatti, which of those is a Germanic
Gribos
tribe?
and the Chatti. I mean, Chatti sounds to me like a red herring, but by the same token, it could equally not be.
Yeah, that's true. That's how we do it.
That's how we do it. Let's go Chatti. I think Chatti.
As the pointless answer?
I think so, yeah.
Let's take a look. Is it Chatti and Nemitz? Absolutely right. Very well done.
Hooray.
And Grebo is a type of music. Pop Will Eat Itself, Ned's Atomic Dustbin, Wonder Stuff, all that. They were the Grebos, as opposed to the Goths, who were another Germanic tribe.
There we are. Thank you very much indeed, Richard. OK, well, bad luck. We didn't find any pointless answers, but that was fun. Let's play the head-to-head. First pair to win 2 questions will be playing for that jackpot. You're now allowed to confer before you give your answers. Best of luck to both pairs. Here comes that first question, and it is all about animated films in limericks. Richard.
Yep, we're going to do 5 limericks now, which will tell you the names of various Disney films. What Disney films are these, please?
Thank you very much indeed. Let's reveal the limericks. Here they come. Her christening seemed full of bliss, but bad fairies you mustn't dismiss. A prick from a spindle saw her consciousness dwindle, till a prince broke the spell with a kiss. Here's B. A plan by Medusa is hatched, so an orphan named Penny is snatched. This madam's so cruel in pursuit of a jewel, but she's stopped when 2 mice are dispatched. Here is C. A pachyderm with very large ears. In the circus he's mocked by his peers. But the jaw-dropping sight of this creature in flight soon turns all the laughs into cheers. Can I just commend the exceptional limerick writing of our question setters here? Here is D. A queen plans her stepdaughter's fall with a mirror that's hung on the wall. The plot then takes root with a bite from a fruit and some men who are really quite small. And here is E. A stray dog who wouldn't have Betty had the remotest of chances, and yet he went in for a smooch with this upper-class pooch as they dined on a plate of spaghetti. OK, now, Blair and Sarah, you are our golden couples. You get to go first.
We're going to go for E, and it's funny because I just did a jigsaw of this movie the other week, and it's Lady and the Tramp.
Lady and the Tramp. Say Blair and Sarah, Lady and the Tramp. Now, Jacob and Mark, can you talk us through the rest of that board of limericks?
A A, we think is
Sleeping Beauty.
Sleeping Beauty. B, we're not 100% sure on.
Might be say, a mouse's tail or something.
C, Dumbo. And D is Snow White. But we'll probably go C, Dumbo.
C, Dumbo. So we've got Lady and the Tramp and we've got Dumbo. Blair and Sarah went for Lady and the Tramp for E. Let's see how many of our 100 got that. $55. 55 for Lady and the Tramp. Jacob and Mark have gone for Dumbo, the pachyderm. Let's see how many of our 100 got Dumbo. Dumbo's right. And that scores you 71. It means Blair and Sarah, well done. You take an early lead. After one question, it's 1-0.
Yeah, well played. Chose the wrong answer. Sleeping Beauty would have won you the point. Sleeping Beauty would have scored 49. Do you know B? It's not a film I've seen.
No.
It's The Rescuers. Very well done if you said that at home. 5 points if you got that. It's a lovely answer. Best answer on the board. And D,
Snow White.
Snow White would have scored 59.
Thank you very much indeed. OK, now, here comes your second question, Jacob and Mark. You get to answer it first, but you have to win this one to stay in the game, so best of luck. This being your third and final shot. OK, our second question is all about Scottish footballers, Richard.
Yep, 5 questions about players who played for the Scottish national team at some point.
Thank you very much. Let's reveal our 5 clues, and here they come. He signed for Liverpool for a record of £440,000 in 1977. KD, striker who scored her 100th international goal in a 2007 match against Slovakia. JF. He became a team captain on A Question of Sport in 1996. AM. Stepped down as a pundit on Match of the Day in 2014, 22 years after his first appearance. AH. And left back, who won the English Premier League with Liverpool in 2019-20. AR. There we are. Jacob and Mark will go first.
OK, we'll go for Ali McCoist for the team captain.
Ali McCoist, say Jacob and Mark. Now then, Blair and Sarah, do you want to talk us through the rest of that board?
So I'm actually from Troon, near Glasgow, and I'm a Rangers fan. So fingers crossed, that sees us all right. But the top one is Kenny Dalglish. I don't know the second one. The fourth one is Alan Hansen, and the fifth one's Andrew Robertson. So then it's a choice. I would say Alan Hansen. What have you heard of him?
No.
OK, that's a good sign. Let's go for Alan Hansen.
You're going to go for Alan Hansen. So we have Ali McCoist and Alan Hansen. Jacob and Mark have gone for Ali McCoist. Let's see how many of our 100 people said that for the team captain on Question of Sport. Ali McCoist is right. Oh, that's a good answer. That goes down to 19. Meanwhile, we've got Alan Hansen from Blair and Sarah, the pundit on Match of the Day. Let's see how many of our 100 said that. It's right. Is it going to beat Ali McCoist? Oh, 28 for Alan Hansen. No is the answer for that. Well done, Jacob and Mark. Just what we needed from you. You're back in the game after 2 questions. It's 1-all.
Yeah, well played there. Kenny Dalglish, at the top there, you're quite right, but it scored you 31. It is Julie Fleeting scored that goal, 100th international goal. She was a pointless answer. Well done if you said that. But again, we've both given away points now in this head-to-head, because if you said Andrew Robertson, which you knew, you'd be in the final right now, because he would have scored you 16 points. So that's fair, isn't it?
Yeah.
We're both...
Thank you.
That's nice. Thank you very much indeed. OK, right, this is the decider. Whoever wins this third question goes through to the final and plays for that jackpot. Best of luck to both pairs. Here it comes. We've got products and services offered by a bank. Richard.
Yep, I'm going to show you 5 of those things on the board, but only the first and last letters of each name. So can you tell us what these products and services are, please?
Thank you very much indeed. Let's reveal them. Here they come. 5 products and services from banks. BSLN, CK, DTCD, IE, and CTAT. So, Blair and Sarah, you will go first.
We're going to go for the second one down for checkbook.
Checkbook. Say Blair and Sarah. Jacob and Mark, talk us through the rest of that board.
We are struggling to work them out, but we're going to have to go for the only one that we could, and that's debit card for the third one.
Debit card. So we have checkbook and debit card. Appropriately enough, they were rivals of their own in a funny kind of a way. Blair and Sarah have gone for checkbook. Let's see how many of our 100 people said checkbook for the top one. OK, 16 for checkbook. And, yes, snapping at the heels of checkbook is debit card from Jacob and Mark. Let's see how many of our 100 people said that, debit card. Is right. 60 for debit card, I'm afraid, Jacob and Mark. And that means well done, Blair and Sarah. After 3 questions, you're through to the final 2-1.
I mean, that tells its own story, doesn't it? Those scores there. That tells a little bit of social history. First debit card only introduced in 1987. Can you believe that? And now, you know, checkbook feels like something from another age.
Doesn't it? Yeah.
Let's take a look at the rest of these. The top one
Business
is
loan.
Business loan, which would have scored you 27. The bottom one,
Current accounts.
current account, that would have scored 40. And IE is the best answer on the board.
Insurance.
Insurance, yeah, absolutely. And that would have scored 7, so very well done if you said that.
Thank you very much. Well, that means the pair leaving us at the end of this round. And Jacob and Mark, I'm so sorry. It's been lovely having you on the show. Thank you so much for playing. I'm sorry we're not sending you back with a trophy, but thank you anyway for playing, Jacob and Mark.
Thank you.
But for Blair and Sarah, it's now time for the Pointless Final. Well, huge congratulations, Blair and Sarah. You fought off all the competition. You have won our coveted Pointless trophy. You now get a chance to win our Pointless jackpot. And at the end of today's show, the jackpot is standing at £1,250. The big question is, what do you want to see come up? What's going to help you win it?
Oh, I think for me, probably maybe celebrities or sci-fi sort of films and movies, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, golf would be a real good one. Any sport would be nice.
Yeah.
OK, well, let's see what's on the board for you. 4 things as ever. We can offer you these. Directing Richards, Paul Weller, West Indies cricket, art in the 21st century. What do you think?
What do you like?
Well, Paul Weller is my stepmom's absolute favourite, and she's going to kill me that I know nothing about him, so I don't think we'll go for that. Well, you don't know anything about cricket, do you?
No. Let's do films. Directing Richards?
Yeah, OK.
Yeah, we'll do Directing Richards.
OK, Directing Richards it is.
OK, very best of luck. We're looking for any feature film made for cinema release, please, up to the end of October 2020, directed by any of the following. So we're looking for any Richard Lester movies, we're looking for any Richard Linklater films, or we are looking for any Richard Attenborough films as well. So according to IMDb, any feature film made for cinema release directed by Richard Lester, Richard Linklater, or Richard Attenborough. Very best of luck.
Thank you very much indeed, Richard. Now, as always, you've got up to a minute to come up with 3 answers. All you need to win that jackpot is for just one of those answers to be pointless. Are you ready?
Yes.
Let's put 60 seconds up on the clock. There they are. Your time starts now.
I don't know Richard Lester or Richard Linklater.
No, so I think Attenborough is our best shot.
And obviously he's, you know who he is, yeah? You
Yes,
recognise his face.
yeah.
I don't know what he's directed, but obviously we can just reel off some films he's in.
Yeah.
So Miracle, 34th Street,
Yeah.
Jurassic Park.
Yeah, I was thinking
Original.
Jurassic Park. But that might be high score, though.
Yeah, what else have you got? I'm struggling now. I've never heard of the other 2. Richard Attenborough, what else is he in? Would he have ever done anything with his brother and done some like nature stuff? Any big famous nature films?
We could go for it, because if no one would think that, would they?
What nature films? What nature films do you know?
Would he have done that, like Blue Planet and stuff like
I don't
that?
think he'd done the TV stuff. We'd need like a... Yeah, I think that's going to be niche. What other films is he in?
So we're going, what, Miracle on 44th Street?
34th Street.
34th
Which is
Street.
the Christmas
Jurassic
Jurassic
Park.
10 seconds left.
And
Should we just guess another film for the other 2 for fun?
Yeah.
Something from like the 80s.
Yeah,
Just
go.
fix it. All right,
Something you
I'll
love.
think of it. Yeah. Oof.
OK, that is your time up. Let's have your 3 answers. You're not really enjoying the Directing Richards, I'm sensing. But let's see what you've got.
So we've got Miracle on 34th Street.
And in which category?
In Richard Attenborough.
Richard Attenborough, A Miracle on 34th Street.
We'll have Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park.
For Richard Attenborough.
Yep, Jurassic Park, got it logged.
And we'll change to Richard Lester and we'll go Love Actually.
Love Actually for Richard Lester. OK, of those three, do you want to nominate one to be your last? That might be your best shot at a pointless answer.
Let's put the Love Actually one last.
Yeah. OK, Love Actually goes last. Least likely to be pointless?
Miracle.
Miracle of 34th Street.
Yeah.
And then Jurassic Park goes in the middle. Marvellous. OK, well, let's put those answers up on the board in that order, and here they are. We've got Miracle on 34th Street, Jurassic Park, and Love Actually. Well, there we are. If you were to win that jackpot with one of these answers, £1,250, what would you like to do with it? Blair, I'm going to ask you first.
We've always dreamt of going to Malaysia and India, where Sarah's from, so that would be pretty high up on the list.
Yeah.
That would be lovely. Sarah, anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, so my grandfather actually passed away last year, so we want to sprinkle his ashes in the Ganges River in India, so that would contribute to it. So fingers crossed some of these answers are right.
OK, well, let's hope so. Wouldn't that be nice? Your first answer is Miracle on 34th Street. In this case, we're looking for Richard Attenborough films, directed by Richard Attenborough. Let's see how many of our 100 people said Miracle on 34th Street. No, bad luck. I'm afraid not that. Let's hope you can win the jackpot with your next answer, Jurassic Park. Again, we're looking for films directed by Richard Attenborough. £1,250 riding on this. Is it pointless, Jurassic Park? No, bad luck. Let's turn to your third and final answer. This was a bit of a shot in the dark, this one. I mean, not that the others weren't, but you know what I mean. Love Actually, we're putting this on the slate of Richard Lester for £1,250. Is that a pointless answer? No bad luck. Oh, well, there we are. I'm afraid you didn't manage to find the all-important pointless answer, or indeed the all-important correct answer there, to win the jackpot. But it's been lovely having you on the show. You've been fantastic. And don't forget, you get to take home a pointless trophy. Yeah. So it hasn't been an empty endeavour. Richard.
Yeah, and Richard Attenborough starred in the first two, and Richard Curtis directed the last one. So there's a lot of Richards going on. So I think it was OK. We'll start with Richard Lester movies. All of these were pointless answers. Well done at home if you said A Funny Thing, Have Another Way to the Forum. Robin and Marion, The Bed Sitting Room, The Knack, and How to Get It was a pointless answer. Some people would have said that. The only ones that scored for Richard Lester were A Hard Day's Night and Help, Superman 2 and 3, and The Three Musketeers. Very well done if you said any other movies apart from those. Richard Linklater now. Scanner Darkly, Before Midnight was a pointless answer. Bernie, Waking Life. The scoring answers there: Boyhood, Before Sunrise, Slacker, Before Sunset, Days of Confusion, School of Rock. Those are the scoring answers. Everything else pointless. And Richard Attenborough now. Some good films here. A Bridge Too Far, A Chorus Line, Cry Freedom, In Love and War. The only scoring answers there: Gandhi, Chaplin, Oh What a Lovely War, and Shadowlands. Everything else pointless. Well done if you said one at home.
Thank you very much indeed, Richard. And thank you, Blair and Sarah. I'm sorry you didn't get to win the jackpot today. That'll therefore roll over onto the next show, when we will be playing for £2,250. Join us then to see if someone can win it. Meanwhile, it's goodbye from Richard.
Goodbye.
And it's goodbye from me. Goodbye.